Welcome to the Roy Rogers Riders Club.
Thrill again to the thundering hooves and cattle stampedes, barroom brawls, and shootouts of classic Western features and TV shows. Annie Oakley, Roy Rogers, Gene Autry, John Wayne, and all their cowboy pals and sidekicks roam the West once more. Heroes never die on Comedy MX channels. They just ride off into the sunset.
Most of the outlaw gangs that spread violence and terror through the Southwest were loosely organized and led by ignorant, undisciplined men. One desperate gang, however, operated with deadly modern efficiency until a quiet, unassuming man appeared among them. Rex Allen stars as the Frontier Doctor.
With the death of the notorious Bill Doolin and the scattering of his outlaw gang, people in the West breathed easier, but not for long. BITTERCREEK Newcomb and Red Buck Waitman, who had ridden with Doolin, rallied the remnants of his gang, robbing banks, holding up trains, raiding towns, and then disappearing into the wilderness without a trace. On that day in August 1896, when I left Rising Springs on my first vacation in 4 years, I wasn't concerned about the BITTERCREEK gang. I was going to visit my friend Nat Faber in Gila Bend. Proceeding west from Tucson, the stage was crowded. One passenger had to sit with the driver. I didn't know the man. I'd only caught a glimpse of him when he boarded the stage in Tucson. But he was going to wreck my vacation.
What's wrong, Sheriff?
I want to check your passengers. All right, folks, step out.
What's this all about?
I'll tell you later. Nothing to be afraid of, folks. I'm Sheriff of Casa Grande. You a doctor?
Yes, I am.
I thought so. You're under arrest.
Under arrest? What for?
Now, come off it, Doc. Sheriff in Tucson traced you to the stage depot, then wired ahead.
Who am I supposed to be?
Your name's Nixon. And you escaped from Ohio State Prison last month.
My name's Baxter.
Now, don't hand me that, Doc. BITTERCREEK Newcomb arranged your jailbreak and offered you $300 a month to work for him.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm Dr. Baxter from Rising Springs.
That's the truth, Sheriff. He's from Rising Springs.
Are you sure?
Yeah, positive.
All right. Line up over there. Rest of you passengers will have to identify yourself. All right, you up there. Yeah, that's Nixon, all right. Ride back and fetch that other doctor.
It's a good thing he had bandage and medicine in his briefcase.
How long will he be unconscious, Doc?
It's hard to say, but his concussion's not too serious.
All right, boys. Get him on a horse. Doc, I wish you'd take a look at this letter we found in his pocket.
Does it concern me?
Well, it might.
It was addressed to Dr. Lewis Nixon. He was to go to the Red Slipper in Gila Bend, order a drink, take a ring from his finger, and place it beside his glass. Now, this don't make sense.
Well, we received a tip that Nixon's joining the BITTERCREEK gang. They're going to pay him $300 a month.
I see.
Now, evidently, nobody in the gang knows Nixon by sight. So he's to identify himself by going through that rigmarole at the Red Slipper.
I can understand why outlaws would want their own doctor, but why tell me about it?
Well, you're a doctor, and you look something like him. Now, if you took his place...
I'm a little bit ahead of you, Sheriff. The answer's no.
Well, now, only a doctor could get away with a thing like that. All the doctors around here are too well known.
I'm on my vacation. I'm going over to Casa Grande and go fishing with my old friend Nat Faber.
Nat Faber?
Yeah, you know him?
Nat Faber and his wife were in the bank last Friday when BITTERCREEK's gang held it up. They killed both of them.
Both of them dead?
Killing an unarmed man is bad enough. But when it comes to shooting down a woman, Faber's had a kid, too.
Yeah, I know.
If you'd take Nixon's place while I hold him here in jail, we might be able to catch up with these murdering skunks. Well, it was an idea.
I'll do it.
I kind of thought you might.
The next day, wearing Nixon's clothes and carrying his briefcase, I headed for Gila Bend. The sheriff had sent word ahead explaining the plan to Sheriff Jackson of Gila Bend and asking him to meet me outside of town. Sheriff Jackson?
Yeah. I guess you're Dr. Baxter. My deputy, Jerry Seward.
Howdy.
How did Fred talk you into this harebrained stunt?
Don't you think it'll work?
I'd say the odds are 100 to 1 against it. BITTERCREEK's the smartest outlaw in the country, and Red Buck is such a cold-blooded killer that even Doolin wouldn't have him.
I know it.
We've tried trailing people to his hideout before. Every time we've walked right into an ambush.
Maybe it'd be better then if nobody tried to follow me. Once I've located the hideout, I think I can slip away.
All I can say is you're doing something I wouldn't want to do. Got everything you need?
Yeah, Sheriff Taylor briefed me on Nixon's career, up to now.
Then the only thing I can do is to wish you luck. You'll need plenty.
Thanks. I'll get back to you in a couple days. I hope.
Follow him to the Red Slipper and see who he meets there. We'll put a close watch on whoever it is from now on.
Yes, sir.
Stranger, what do you have?
I'll have a straight shot.
All right. Help yourself.
Thank you.
Howdy, my name's Pearl. Buy me a drink?
Help yourself.
Thanks. You better put that thing on. You'll lose it.
It's there for a reason.
Next thing, I guess you'll be telling me you're a doctor.
How'd you guess?
Younger than I expected. Be a pleasure having you around.
Thanks.
I gotta change my clothes. Meet me out back. Thanks for the drink, mister. wait here.
Why?
Well, unless he's pulling a job, Bitt keeps his hideout guarded better than the U.S. Mint. Come on, Doc.
Bitter Creek's headquarters turned out to be an isolated, decaying ghost town surrounded by miles of desert.
I'll go, boss. Never mind, I'll get it. Hello, sweetheart. I expected you yesterday.
Doc Nixon was late.
Howdy, Doc. I'm George Newcomb.
Glad to know you.
Mostly they call me Bitter Creek.
I'd have been here sooner, but the stagecoach wrecked over the other side of Casa Grande.
Toby, take the horses around back.
Okay, boss.
Doc, you may not know it, but I'm building up the biggest, most powerful outlaw gang in all the world. I'm running it like an army. I'd like you to be my Surgeon General. Will you have a drink?
No, thanks.
Well, that's just as well. You got work to do.
Red! Red!
Red got a bullet in his shoulder in our last job.
What do you want?
The doctor's here. It's Dr. Nixon. Red Buck.
He don't look like no doctor to me.
I am. At least I was until they took my license away from me.
That was in Toledo, wasn't it?
Cleveland. See, you've been checking up on me.
I check on everybody. I probably know more about you than you do yourself.
That's possible. I'm gonna get the bullet out of this man. I'll need some boiling water to sterilize these instruments.
Come on, Doc. I'll take you to the kitchen.
There's something wrong with that feller. I don't like him.
You don't like anybody.
Well, just the same, I'm going to keep an eye on him.
I was assigned a room in the hotel, one with shutters on the window that were solidly nailed up. And that night, after Pearl had left to return to Gila Bend, I decided to look around.
I say it's too risky.
Sure, it's risky, but it'll be the biggest job we've ever worked on.
It's no skin off my nose, because with my bum arm, I won't be riding on this job anyhow.
Caught you, didn't I? Let go, you're breaking my arm.
What's going on?
I caught him listening at the door.
Get this ape off of me and I'll explain.
What's to explain? You're snooping and you got caught.
Let him go.
I wasn't snooping, I was just walking around.
You were listening at the door. It's a good thing you had me watching him.
Sure, I was listening. I heard voices and I got curious.
Curiosity's a bad habit.
What's the difference if I'm listening? I'm a member of the gang.
But you ain't a member of the gang.
What Red means is, unless a man rides with us, we don't tell him our plans ahead of time.
I didn't know that.
Until we can trust a man, we watch him like a hawk.
I'm sorry I caused such a ruckus. Good night.
In case you want anything, ask for it. There'll be a guard on duty all night.
Thanks. It wasn't going to be as easy to slip away as I thought. I was worried. If I knocked the boards from the window, one of the gang was sure to hear. I'd have been even more worried had I known what was happening in Casa Grande.
Finish your supper, and give us them dirty dishes.
The next morning, Bitter Creek assembled his entire gang at the hotel. Even the guards had been recalled from their posts.
Men, when you leave here, split up into small groups. We'll attract less attention that way. We'll meet at the railroad tracks, the other side of Latigo Canyon.
You're going to rob another train.
Yeah, that's right. The Southwest is running a special. Over $500,000 in gold. Move out! You fellas wait.
Can I go with you?
No, you stay here with Red Buck and the doc. Doc, this is a big job. Chances are some of the boys might get hurt. Be ready to take care of them when they get back.
I'll be here.
Sorry you won't be going, Red Buck. Might as well not ride while that shoulder's bad.
Good luck, Bit, and be careful.
Always am.
Doe, let's have a snort. You too, Doc.
I'm not thirsty.
Oh, yes, you are. Come on, Doc.
Yeah, it's good for your liver.
Give me a straight shot.
You better put that ring back on, mister. You're going to get yourself in trouble.
Come here, miss. I want to talk to you. Somebody came through here yesterday and put a ring on the table just the way I did, didn't they?
Maybe.
Well, whoever it was a phony. I'm Doc Dixon.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, don't be coy. Look, they jailed me in Casa Grande and took my clothes and my papers. Whoever the other guy was a spy.
How do I know you're not a spy?
If I was, would I show up a day after the real guy came through?
No. I guess you wouldn't.
Where is he?
He's at the hideout. Here, meet me out back.
Beat 2 aces.
2 pair. Jacks and 8s. Thank you, Doc. I come near checking out.
I think I'll get a little shut-eye.
Suit yourself. You know, I never did trust that bird.
You did all right for me.
Just where do you think you're going?
I'm out of chloroform. Figured I might need some when the boys got back.
You thought you'd ride into town and get some.
That's the general idea, yeah.
If you'd have been on the level, you'd have checked with me first. Get off of that horse and come on up here. I'm going to lock you in your room till BITTERCREEK gets back.
Rest your horses. The train's on time. Due at 4:38.
Listen. hunch about you and I was right.
You'll have to admit it is worth a try.
Hey, you two do look a lot alike.
Yeah, the only difference is that you'll be alive tomorrow. Take him downstairs.
Stay where you are! All right, throw those guns over here. Come on, throw over! No, you don't! Drop it!
Where you hit?
In the shoulder, Doc.
It's not bleeding too bad. I'll take care of you later. Boy, you saved my life. Did you follow me out here?
We've been watching Pearl. This time I had orders to follow her.
Keep your eye on her while I take a look at Red. He's dead.
I can't say I'm sorry.
I gotta get to town and warn Jackson about that train holdup. Stay here and keep your gun on him. You feel up to it?
It'll be a pleasure.
I'll send somebody back to help you.
Bring the wagon out of the brush after we start unloading the gold. Take your station.
Sheriff Jackson!
BITTERCREEK and his gang are gonna hold up the Southwest Special, the one carrying the gold.
Where?
Over Belitigo Canyon.
Get as many men as you can. Tell them to meet down at the depot. If we commandeer an engine, we may be able to get there in time. Come on! They should be right around that bend, Doc. Hurry it up! See you at that from the wagon. Look, Doc, there they are. All right, everybody up, over the bank. Take cover! You know, Doc, I owe you an apology.
How's that?
Well, the other day I said the odds were 100 to 1 against you. If I'd have seen you in action, the odds would have been the other way around.
Hadn't been for Jerry here, your first bet would have been right.
All I did was get myself shot.
How's it coming?
Itches like the devil.
It's beginning to heal. Goodbye, Sheriff. Don't take any chances on BITTERCREEK and that outfit. They're a tough bunch.
Don't worry, Doc. We have them under double guard.
Goodbye, Doctor. Are you sure you won't take even part of your reward?
Nat Faber's daughter needs it a lot worse than I do. So long.
So long, Doc.
Nixon, Pearl, Doby, and the other members of the gang were tried September 12, 1896, and sent to prison. 2 weeks before the trial, BITTERCREEK broke out of jail, only to be killed by lawmen a month later. It was the end of the BITTERCREEK gang and also the end of my restful vacation.
Fortunes in gold and cattle were won and lost in the gambling casinos of the Southwest. One of these fortunes might have been lost and a murder unavenged, but for one man, Rex Allen stars as the Frontier Doctor.
Inside the brawling, wide-open town of Bango, 20 miles west of Rising Springs, was Tennessee Smith's famous saloon and gambling establishment. I knew and liked Tennessee, so I was not surprised to receive an invitation to a special gathering of hers. But I was not prepared for the unusual reason for the gathering or the tragic event which followed it.
Thank you very much.
Well, there she is.
Gentlemen.
Good evening, Tennessee.
Hello, Doc.
Hello, Tennessee.
I've got an announcement to make. First, everything but the gambling is on the house tonight, so eat, drink, and be merry.
How come, Tennessee? You know, you're not exactly noted for handing things out for nothing.
I'm quitting business. After tonight, Tennessee Smith will be closed.
What's the idea, Tennessee? You getting married? Who's the lucky man?
I'm marrying nobody, Frank. I'm retiring and leaving town. Oh, it'll take me a few days to settle my affairs. But tomorrow I'm taking the coach over to Elkton and buy myself some clothes and get prettied up for that trip. There's one more thing. I've always counted Dr. Bill Baxter as one of my dearest friends. As a token of our friendship, I should like you to have this.
Isn't that a dandy? Look at it. Oh, that's right. That's nice. Thank you, Tennessee. I'll treasure it always.
Well, that's about it, gentlemen. Now, let's make this a night to remember. It's got to last us a long, long time.
Best of luck, Tennessee. Good luck.
The next morning, Tennessee took the coach to Elkton to do her shopping.
Dr. Baxter, I'm sure glad you come. Miss Tennessee, she just lies here. She won't talk, she won't move, she won't do nothing. Just stares into space.
You'll be all right, Delilah. long has she been like this?
I guess since she was shot. They took her off the coach like that.
Can you hear me, Tennessee? Can you hear me? If I could have gotten some reaction from her, move her head, or any other sign of the will to live, it was impossible to remove the bullet without causing her death. The once laughing, happy-go-lucky Tennessee was doomed to spend her remaining days in the grip of complete paralysis. Gentlemen, Tennessee's condition is very serious. There's a neurosurgeon in San Francisco that specializes in this type of operation, but unless she shows some signs of not being completely paralyzed, it'd be useless to call Dr. Williams in on the case.
Tennessee was shot deliberately. I'm asking you men to help me find the one who shot her.
Excuse me. Dr. B, I know Miss Tennessee's awful sick, but she told me if anything ever happened to her, I was to give you this letter. Now I got to go see about my baby.
Sir Will, you're all witnesses. She appoints me executor and leaves her estate in its entirety to a Miss Penny Chalmers, whose address is Mont Blanc School for Girls, St. Louis, Missouri.
Wonder who she is.
I'll send her a telegram and tell her to come out here right away.
Well, what are you going to do about Tennessee till she gets here?
I'm going to move her over to the hospital in Elkton. Sheriff, as executor, I want you to seal the cash register, the safe, and her desk, and padlock this place until Penny Chalmers gets here. A few days later, in answer to my telegram, Penny Chalmers arrived.
When do you plan to take her to San Francisco for the operation, Doctor?
Well, not until she regains consciousness and gets some of her strength back. Wouldn't be safe to move her in this condition.
Is there anything I can do to help?
I don't think so, not now. Let's go out to her mansion. I want you to meet some of her friends.
Beautiful. Way out here, it's so unusual.
Tennessee's an unusual woman. Mr. Walt Bodine, Sheriff Butler, Mr. McNally.
How do you do?
This is Miss Penny Chalmers.
How do you do, Miss Chalmers? We're all old friends here of Tennessee Smith's. Naturally, we're very curious about you, how you happen to know her and so forth. That is, of course, if you don't mind telling us.
Oh, not at all, Mr. Bodine. You see, I've known Martha Smith. I presume that's the lady that you refer to as Tennessee, ever since I can remember. She paid for my way from infancy on up through finishing school.
Was she your guardian?
Well, when I was old enough to wonder about that, I wrote and asked her. She answered me that she'd known my parents and had promised to take care of me if anything happened to them. Shortly after that, my parents disappeared.
That was quite wonderful of her.
Yes, it was. My only regret is that I was never able to meet and thank her for all that she did for me.
You never met her?
No. I wrote and asked her if I could visit her many times, but she always had some reason why I shouldn't.
See.
I guess she didn't want me to know how she made her living.
Does it make any difference?
No. Well, the important thing is to get her to San Francisco and to get her well. That's going to take money.
Tennessee kept her money in the bank I manage, and I can probably help explain her financial position.
Oh, we appreciate your help, Mr. McNally.
Sheriff, if you'll be a witness, we'll go through her personal effects.
All right, Doc.
You got the key to the desk, Sheriff?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's something wrong with this lock.
Say, look, Doc. That seal I put on has been broken.
This desk has been forced open.
You think there's a connection between this and her being shot?
I wonder. Look here in the dust. It's a good, clear set of fingerprints.
That theory's awful new yet, Doc.
I've been reading some articles by a man named Francis Galton. He claims that no two sets of fingerprints are exactly alike. Just for curiosity, I've been trying it out on some of my patients and friends, and so far he's right.
What's that got to do with the fingerprints on the desk?
Well, if there's any connection between the desk being broken open and Tennesee being shot, these prints could belong to the man who did it.
But how can the prints help catching? You can't lug the desk around matching the fingerprints of everyone in town.
That's true. What you do is lift them.
Well, how do you do that?
I think I've got enough stuff in my medical bag to do it. Would you mind getting it out of the buggy, Penny?
Of course not.
There's her books. Bank book. She shows a steady profit here of about $1,000 a month. Let's see where the money went to.
I can tell you.
Here you are.
Thank you, Penny. Put it right here. You were just going through Tennessee's bank book.
As I was about to say, you'll find that she has a very low balance.
Less than $50?
That's right. You see, for the past 9 months, Tennessee withdrew her capital at the rate of $10,000 a month. She wiped out everything she had.
Well, did you ask her why?
I did, but she never told me.
Did she draw it out in cash or have you transfer it to another city?
She drew the money out in cash.
There's the motive for your shooting. Robbery.
Yeah.
$90,000. Well, the $90,000 and this mansion are the extent of her estate, Penny. We'll try to get the money back for you. That entered my office was obviously attempting to steal the fingerprints that I'd lifted from Tennessee's desk.
I don't blame you for packing a gun, Doc. You got any idea who it was?
No, it happened so quick I didn't get a good look at him. He was masked. But I've got my suspicions.
Who?
The only other people who knew about the prints besides Penny and you and me was Walt Bodine and Frank McNally.
I'm sorry, Doc. I guess I shouldn't have done it. But I told everybody in town about you lifting the prints. I figured it was the only way I could make them agree to being fingerprinted.
I see.
It's such a newfangled notion, they're all afraid of it.
Maybe if we could get some of the town's leading citizens to agree to be fingerprinted, the rest would go along.
Who you got in mind?
Well, Frank McNally, for instance. As president of the bank, he carries a lot of weight.
Frank McNally. Yeah. All right, let's go see him.
Frank, we're here to ask a favor.
Yes?
Sheriff's having a little trouble getting people to agree to be fingerprinted. We thought, if you'd have yours taken, maybe the others would cooperate.
See. Well, I'm not interested.
Why? You don't have anything to hide, do you?
Of course not. But that's it, exactly. I'm not guilty of anything. Why should I be fingerprinted?
We're not accusing you of being a criminal. We're just...
Now, look. No matter what you say, if I'm fingerprinted, I'll be looked on as a suspect. That'd be bad for the bank. Now, on the other hand, if you... Pardon. Yes? Hmm? Oh, sure. I wanted down at the vault. Will you excuse me for a few minutes?
Maybe we better forget about this fingerprint business, Doc.
I'm not giving up yet. I wonder why he turned us down. Look, here's a set of his prints right here. Curly Q's in the middle.
Yeah.
That scar on the center finger.
Uh-huh.
These prints match.
What's the idea?
Your prints here. They match the ones on Tennessee's desk.
That's impossible. What would I want to steal from Tennessee?
$90,000, maybe?
That's ridiculous.
I'll take him down to my office. Maybe he'll tell the truth.
No, those are not my prints. Here, look. I can't reach that. All right? Take my fingerprints. You'll see they don't match.
We'll take your word for it, Frank. Do you remember anyone who visited you today who stood right about here?
Well, how should I know? There have been a lot of people in here.
Maybe you can help me.
Yes, sir?
Did you happen to see a man in here at this desk who might have stood about like this?
Well, yes. A man came in and put his hands on the desk just like that.
Who was it?
Mr. Bodine.
Walt Bodine? Are you sure?
Positive. Is that all, sir?
Yes, that's all. Thank you. Now, do you remember, Frank?
By George, yes, I do. And I can tell you another thing. Walt had a good reason for killing Tennessee.
What do you mean?
Well, I happen to know that he needed money to keep the ranch going. He tried to borrow it from me, but the bank directors turned him down. Right after that, he started courting Tennessee.
Go on.
Well, my guess is that he borrowed it from her. Then when she decided to retire, she asked for it back. Walt shot her when he couldn't pay off.
Sounds reasonable, Doc. Tennessee must have had a record of the loan, and that's what Walt stole from the desk.
I think we better pay a visit to Walt's ranch. Thanks a lot, Frank.
See you, Frank.
Good luck.
What's this all about?
We want to go with you, Sheriff. Tennessee was our friend, too.
But I don't need you. And besides, we're not sure it was Bodine.
Well, it sure won't hurt for us to come with you. Bodine's got a lot of men working for him. And if he is guilty, he'll put up a fight. We got a lot more friends waiting out of town.
All right. Come along.
Walt, the sheriff's on his way out here to take your fingerprints.
Now, don't get so excited, Frank. I won't let him have them.
Don't be a fool. If you don't let him, he'll take you in on suspicion. If you do let him, he'll tie a rope around your neck if Tennessee dies. Catch a freight train out of here and lay low for a while.
What about the ranch and the money?
Don't worry. I'll sell everything and keep your half safely in the bank vault.
No, Frank. I have 2 gunmen for every one the sheriff has in that posse of his. Tom, I want you to get the men armed and get them down to the north fence line right away.
Sure thing, boss.
Listen, you men. There's $50 for every one of you to turn this posse back.
It's a good thing we come along, Sheriff. They're waiting for us.
Come on. I'm gonna check down the line and see how many of our men got hurt.
Our fight's not with you fellas. We're after Walt Bodine. Where is he?
We don't know. He took off.
Sorry, I got here too late.
Any of you men know where Bodine went?
Haven't any idea.
Maybe I can help you.
Yeah?
It was from a distance, but I saw a man riding toward the railroad tracks. Now, if it should happen to be Bodine, remember he's dangerous. Have your men shoot to kill.
Jim! Ed! Bodine's headed for the railroad! All right, let's get up the ranch, see if there's any more.
Penny, I don't think we'll have any trouble getting Tennessee's money back.
That means we can take her to San Francisco for the operation.
I'm afraid not. We'll have to wait till she regains consciousness.
Let's hope that won't be too late.
Penny, I'm going to break a sacred promise that I made Tennesee a long time ago. I think she'll forgive me. Tennesee Smith is your mother.
Penny.
Let her go. I know where she's gone.
Tennessee, why didn't you tell me? Doctor.
Sometimes the miracle of love can do more than all the doctors in the world. It was good news. Tennessee's operation was a success. On August 30th, 1898, Walt Bodine and Frank McNally were sentenced to 20 years for the attempted murder of Tennessee. Their hired gunmen were sentenced to hard labor in the state penitentiary along with them.